Good evening. How are you all? I hope you're doing well. It is April 24th, 2022. This is Donna Carol, and I apologize. I haven't been on YouTube for a while, probably the last month. I've been really busy and overwhelmed, and anyhow, I want to get back to my weekly channeling, so here I am. I heard online, or I saw online, that today was supposed to be a Pleiadian portal, and I feel it. I think it might be true because I'd say I'm about 20% in my body. It's really hard for me to be grounded all weekend long. And I heard that Friday was a Lyran portal, so I didn't really watch the whole video. I just saw the little excerpt. But anyhow, if that's true, it's good news. And I'm having a good day. I wanted to mention one thing. On Friday, April 29th, I'm going to be on Straight Talk for the Soul. This is a show with Cari Murphy, and she basically interviews people that are working in the metaphysical fields, and she interviews people that are doing new and different things. This is my 4th time on the show, but this is going to be an important show because I will be channeling the Lemurian Mother Goddess, who I've channeled before, but I have been informed that she wants to connect people to the Lemurian Mother Crystal. So just like Atlantis had a Mother Crystal that went under the ocean, so did Lemuria, which I found out when I went to Maui in 2019. I was on the northwest coast or northern coast at a place called Jaws, and in the wintertime they have those really huge waves, and I didn't go out to the waves because I didn't have a 4-wheel drive, but suffice to say that I was doing a lot of channeling when I went to Maui because I was working with 3 other women. There were 4 of us, and for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days we were doing some heavy channeling, and I was informed that there was a Lemurian Mother Crystal and that it was off the northwest coast of Maui. And that's all I know. It's probably in fragments. Maybe it's broken in a couple pieces. I don't really know. I figure Friday we'll get informed about what this crystal is and why we need to be connected to it. But I was just kind of lying in bed thinking, oh, I wonder what I should channel about. And then the thought came in, I got imprinted. You need to connect to the people to the crystal. So that's what we're going to do. So it should be pretty, like I said, new and exciting and innovative. And we're getting closer and closer to the shift. I mean, like I said, I'm hardly here. I'm like maybe 20% in my body. I feel like I'm out in the ethers most of the time, which is a little hard because it's hard for me to stay grounded and get things done. And when I type things, it's like I'm mixing up days, mixing up dates, mixing up time. So I had to reread everything on the YouTube channel that I wrote here. Basically, I put down the live link to listen to the show. So if you want to listen live on Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, I put the live link. I hope you guys can see it. And if you can't make the live link, I put another link where you can listen to the replay. So essentially, you can go to her website, register for her show, and then you'll get notifications about all the guests. And I actually recommend that you do that because she's got some pretty interesting guests on. People that are working with a lot of different energies. I mean, people that have worked with praying mantis, positive praying mantis in the middle of the earth, I heard once. There's a woman that's working with Lemurian crystals and streaming different frequencies through different crystals. So I think it's worth checking out. So I want to say hey to Angelique and hey to Raydo. It's good to see you here. Angelique says, I love Jesus with the flying saucer. Yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate. I mean, when he was out in the desert for 40 days, maybe he was uh, commiserating with ETs or beings from flying saucers, because Jesus said, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. And the Alpha and the Omega, which means all of reality, all of time, all consciousness, basically that would include extraterrestrials. So I thought it was kind of appropriate. Excuse me, I'm letting Chloe out, my cat. Anyhow, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Not really. So we will get into the channeling. I hope you can see me. I hope the lighting's good. It's getting to be lighter here during the night. So, all right. So I'm going to bring in Yeshua and see what he has to say. And I won't be doing any readings or healing sessions this week. I'm kind of off until after the show. But if you're interested in one of those, you could go to my website, lemuriandonnacarol.com. Okay. So at this time, I would like to bring in the energy of Yeshua. I ask Yeshua to come through my body, my temple. Excuse me. I'm asking for the archangels to come in, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Ariel, Michael, and Gabriel. I'm asking for thousands and thousands of warrior protection angels around myself and all entities listening to this broadcast. I ask that these, excuse me, allergies. I ask that these warrior protection angels protect everyone. Please block all negative entities, energies, and thought forms from entering this space. If anything's released by anyone here, either now or anyone watching this video later, I ask that the angels take it to source, transmute it into light. Okay? So now we ask that Yeshua come in, speak through my voice, and bring a message to the listeners today and those watching the video at a later point. And I want to thank him in advance for his presence. Amen. Greetings, this is Yeshua, and I am very happy and honored to be with you here today. And yes, I was laughing at that picture of me with the spaceships myself, and it is true that I obviously deal with a lot of, you would call them extraterrestrials or entities from different parts of the cosmos. And of course, they look very differently than you, but we all work together and we're all unified in our consciousness. And so it is quite an appropriate and beautiful picture in my mind. And I want to thank the artist for painting it. So yes, the channel wanted me to come in today and give you a message about the ascension, your place on Earth at this time, and anything else that might be appropriate. I am working on the ascension. Yes, I am actually in charge of the ascension. So all of the light workers on Earth, all of the extraterrestrials, the Arcturians, and the Andromedans, and many other beings from your galaxy work with me. We sit on different councils of light. So typically a star system will have one, if not several councils within their star, like the Pleiadian Council of 9. And then there are councils within councils. So there are galactic and intergalactic councils as well. And I sit on some of these councils, not all of them, but some of them. And sometimes I am just a bystander and an observer, and I see what the star beings are deciding in regards to the ascension. And everyone has a part to play and everybody has a voice. And in the higher dimensions, it is very important to me and to others that all voices be heard. We do not always agree. There is conflict, but we compromise and we come to a consensus in these roundtables regarding the ascension. So this is how it works. And so far, the process, it might seem like a very long process to individuals on the earth, but I can assure you that it is running at great speed, and we are constantly, you could say, picking up loose ends or shifting gears because we have to react to others that are working, whether they're working on point or whether they have dropped the ball. We have to react to their actions. So the plan of ascension and the details are constantly getting reworked. And my overall wish is that, as of course, as many people ascend as possible. So we are keeping these portals open. We are keeping the word out so that people can come to us on a last minute basis if they are qualified. But that being said, not everyone is qualified to ascend to the new earth because you have to be able to handle the frequency, and the frequency is quite high for earthlings. So those beings that cannot tolerate the light will not be ascending. We are keeping these portals and these timelines open so that as many people can release their karmic debt and cross over the bridge and come to the new earth. So yes, I have been working with Mother Earth, and she is, you could say, very happy. She is joyful and she is thrilled to be going over the finish line. She has been basically cruising through dimensions. She was in the third, then she went to the fourth, then she went to the fifth, and she has been stretching her muscles and actually going from the third to the fourth to the fifth, and now she is stabilized in the fifth dimension. So she is fully cognizant and conscious of her body and her life in the fifth dimension, and she is acclimating to the energy and getting used to the life forms that are growing out of her body in that world. However, she still has part of her consciousness in the third and fourth dimensions because there are still people who are going to ascend, including Donna Carol and her associates, that are in, part of them is in the third dimension. So Mother Earth will not be fully in the fifth dimension, her consciousness, until the shift has completed or finished. The shift will complete when the poles shift on this planet in the third dimension. Those people that are ascending will be asleep, and when they wake up, they will wake up in the fifth. And it will be like a groggy reawakening to another part of you that resides in that dimension that you're not fully conscious of. Part of your consciousness is already there, but not awakened. And so your third dimensional body temple will go into a dream state and wake up into the fifth. The reason why you will not be fully conscious during the shift is because it is going to be very, very powerful. There's going to be a lot of energies going to and fro. And when the poles are shifting, the sky is going to look like it's turning, the waters are going to rise. And so it is best for most people to be out of body when this happens. Your physical bodies will be cared for by the ETs and the angels. There will be some exceptions to the rule where some people will be awake and alive or witnessing the ascension, but those are the people who have work to do during this on the ground, or those people that are being allowed to witness it for the sake of history. So the great question is, when is this ascension coming? And we can tell you that it's coming soon. Everything is really in place. This channel went to Chaco Canyon in February. All of the portals, the ascension portals, were opened upon planet Earth. There are angelic guardians of all of these portals. The current or the old guardians of the portals were replaced. Good, bad, and the ugly, they were replaced. And so there is no access to these portals right now. The access will come once the ascension takes place, but the portals have been opened, they've been tested, everything is flowing, everything is smooth. There were some corrections, or you could say there were some tweaks that happened on these portals, but now everything is flowing. You can consider these portals part of the Christ consciousness grid, which Akhenaten put out in ancient Egypt. And of course, it is common knowledge now, because the channel has told you that my soul was Akhenaten. So I've had many lifetimes upon Earth. My last great soul mission was 2,000 years ago as Yeshua, and so that is why I am in charge of the ascension. My other incarnation, the Lemurian Mother Goddess, is in charge of the fifth dimensional reality, and will be teaching and leading humans in that reality after the shift takes place. She has a lot of work to do, especially with nature, Mother Earth and the animals, and she is working diligently in that dimension right now. So my soul is multidimensional, just like your soul. So we are hoping that the ascension takes place this year. The earliest that it could happen would be the summer solstice. It could happen on the winter solstice if we get hung up, but we're shooting for summertime. But there is no date that we can say this is going to happen now, because there are always extenuating circumstances and things come up. So how can you prepare for the ascension? You know, the best thing is to stay in prayer, contemplation, and meditation. It's very important to stay out of all fear. Do not get associated or attached to things going on with the third dimensional reality, because that is not going to be your reality. So don't get attached to the money system and the wars and the infighting and the drama. The dark ones are pulling out all the stops in these last days. They are trying to create conflict. They're trying to create fear, anger, uneasiness. But the best thing to do is just avoid those issues, because you're on track for a different reality, which will have none of the dark ones there. The dark ones have been escorted off the planet, many of them. Not all of them, but many of them, through the portal in Antarctica. They have been escorted to tribunals, to places of judgment where they're reviewing their acts and what they're doing. And from there, they will go to other realities that will best serve their karma. So you do not need to be aware or afraid of the dark ones. They are exiting the planet, and they really cannot stand the light here. They don't like it. It annoys them. It makes them unhappy. It makes them scared. And so they're just trying to bide time and trying to figure out what is the best way to handle this, because most of them understand what is going on with the shift. But anyhow, they will be dealt with uh, appropriately, and for those humans that are not ascending, many of them will pass during the shift, and they will again go to other realities that are appropriate for them. Some of the darker ones will go into rehab. They have been given choices on whether to come back into the light and to fix their soul karma, but some of them are still resistant and some of them are still in opposition. And so when they're like that, being very stubborn and obstinate, they actually go to the frequency of what they're exuding to another reality that is far darker than Earth. And from that point, at different times, they are given opportunities to come back into the light. But this separation has been millions, billions of years, and many people are still very allegiant to their leader in the dark, even though some of them know that this individual, fragments of him, has come back to the light. And this is why the ascension is possible, because certain fragments of Lucifer have come back to the light. The channel knows of 6 lifetimes or 6 incarnations that have come back. If it would only take one Luciferian body to come back to the light for the ascension to take place, and that has happened. It happened in my lifetime as Yeshua. My betrothed, my beloved, Mary Magdalene, was an incarnation of Lucifer, and she came back to the light in that lifetime. And this is why the ascension has been possible. It was not possible 2,000 years ago because there was still a lot of very, very dark karma that had to work its way out on the planet, hence colonization, hence many terrible wars. There was still a lot of things that needed to be released for the ascension to take place on a mass scale, and we had to invite in many, 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 many ETs, millions and millions, who would raise the frequency of human consciousness and bring in new ideas and technology. And so the Arcturians started to incarnate. They'd never incarnated before. More Pleiadians came in, new Pleiadians, plus the old ones came in again, reincarnated, the war-torn ones. So it has been a very, very long process, and many details were attended to and worked out. And myself, Yeshua, I have been incarnating constantly since my lifetime 2,000 years ago, working on little details for the ascension. Maybe I didn't have a big soul mission, but I was here in different earth bodies. So we are all multidimensional. Many of you are feeling dizzy, lightheaded. Many of you are feeling tingling or hearing tones in your ears, ringing in your ears. These are all good signs. It means that you're ascending, you're on track, and your body is being recalibrated. So even if you're in your carbon body, your physical body, it still needs to be worked on or tweaked or handled so that it can assume or go into the light body with grace and ease. And so we are working on that with light beings, mainly the Arcturians are taking care of that. They work with you constantly to make sure that your physical body can get into your light body without a lot of stress, strain, or death or combustion. Because if the ETs were not working with you, and the angelics as well, and you had no help to ascend, the light would be so dramatic for you. your physical body would self-combust. And this is why not everybody is going to the new earth, because their physical bodies cannot handle the frequency. So they will go into other realities, another life current, thousands and thousands of years to work out their karma and come back to a point where they can approach or try ascending again. And so many people ask what's going to happen to the third dimensional earth after you leave. The third dimensional earth will be soulless. Mother Earth's soul is going to the next dimension. So it will essentially become a dead planet, or you could say a rock, or there won't be any life to it anymore. So it will not be able to sustain life. All dark entities, the ones remaining, will go eventually off-world into other realities, other planets, other stars, to work on their own karma. So basically, the dark ones who are working now are on the hardcore Luciferian tract, and they are awaiting their Messiah, Lucifer, the Messiah, to them. And they feel like that is coming very, very close. Is the Antichrist going to happen in their reality? The answer is yes, in their reality. In the old earth, it is going to happen for them. That is their belief system. That is their reality. And it will be the final destruction of earth. There will be a great war here after the pole shift, and then life as we know it will not be existing very long. And their leader will be here with them. So this is something that you don't have to worry about, but it is happening because life is a continuum, and things need to happen in other dimensions for the karma to be paid back, and for the reality, in a sense, to be balanced. It needs to come to completion. So we will say that you are very blessed because you are going to the new earth. It is a very, very beautiful place. There is no violence there. There's no war. Nature is in its purest form, or a much purer form. And your lives and your reality will be much calmer, more peaceful, more joyous. Your healing abilities, your telepathy, your consciousness will be greatly expanded. For some people, this will happen very quickly right after the ascension. For others, you will grow into this expanded consciousness. You will meet your soul families. If you're a Pleiadian, you're going to work with your Pleiadian ancestors. If you're a Lyran, the same is true for you. You will be working with your soul families, and you will be educated in the ways and means of those ETs. There will be portals all over this earth, and those portals will lead to other places in the solar system and the galaxy and other galaxies. So you will be most likely experiencing star travel if that is your desire. You won't have to worry about survival, money, all of those things. There will be ways to manifest whatever you need, whether it's a home, food, technology. There will be free energy. All of the incredible technology of your ET brothers and sisters is in place in the fifth dimension, and you will be exposed to it, and you will reap the benefits of it. So my desire for you when you go to the fifth dimension is that you reconnect to your soul and your soul star fully, and that you become self-actualized, which means that you find the thing that makes you tick, what makes you happy, what gives you pleasure, what is your passion. If you want to study the stars, then we have astronomers and telescopes that you will have access to so that you can learn all about astronomy and study the stars. If you're an artist, there will be artist communities where you can paint, you can express yourself. If you're a farmer, you will learn incredible ways to grow food using technology from the stars. But you will be in your light body, so your requirements for sustenance will be a little bit different. The individuals that live in the inner earth that are high vibrating beings will be coming out of their abodes and mixing with humans. And so there will be new communities, you could say hybrid communities, with inner earth beings, humans from the surface, and star seeds, star travelers. So there's going to be many, many possibilities. It's very important that Earth stay in balance. And so, of course, your polluted skies, rivers, streams, and oceans will be cleaned up. They are cleaned up in the fifth dimension with crystalline technology. The old crystalline technology will come back. It's very powerful. It'll clean up the entire planet. It has been cleaned up the entire planet in the fifth. And you will get to see nature in its pristine state. Nature itself, which was under the direction or influence of Pan, which is Lucifer in the third dimension, will not be under Pan's direction anymore. So the animals will also have an expanded consciousness, and their diets will change, and they will not be hunting and killing each other. They were under a Luciferian agenda program for a very long time. So all of those satanic programs, all of those satanic conditioned responses, they have been cleared by the channel and her associates over the last 10 months through me. She was channeling me. And some other light workers on the planet have been clearing the satanic energies. We are very, very happy and excited. This has been a very, very long plan that went into action when the Lemurian Mother Goddess came down the first time and started the Lemurian culture. That was the first ascension step to get that high, 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 high energy back into planet Earth, and then bring it to all of the earthlings who had fallen in vibration, and then give them the opportunity to rise. And it was a very long, drawn out plan because the fall had happened so long ago and so many people had been in darkness for so long, including all of nature. So I myself incarnated many times. I came as Akhenaten, I came as the Indian deities with my twin flame, I came as Kuan Yin, and so I will also be incarnating again as the Lemurian Mother Goddess in the fifth dimension, and that will be like the closest reality of my soul compared to the Divine Mother of the cosmos. So it is going to be a joyous and happy ride. Some of you are having dreams about the ascension and feeling the energies. All I can say is we love you all. We are so appreciative of your work here. If there had not been starseeds that have volunteered to come to Earth, either back in Lemurian times or times thereafter, or current times, the ascension would not have been possible. We needed at least one fragment of Lucifer to come back, which happened, and we needed millions of starseeds to incarnate on Earth. So we appreciate all that you have done for the ascension, all of the suffering that you went through, all of the abuse, all of the responses from others who could not understand your viewpoint, the humiliation, etc. It was hard because you were not understood and you were not validated. And believe me, you will be understood and validated when you get to the fifth. I love you all. I want you to know that I am available to you all 24/7. I send you my blessings. I send you so much love, and know that this is going to be the adventure of not just a lifetime, but many lifetimes. And you will feel complete. You will feel connected because you will be back with your soul families. Like I said, whether they're Pleiadian, Arcturian, Andromedan, Lyran, it does, you will be with your families and you will feel finally at home, satisfied. You will feel loved, appreciated, validated, and you will get to have the best resources to study and live your passions. And so it is going to be wonderful. You are going to be extremely happy, and you will have much love, guidance, and you will also be guiding others and helping others. So, sending you my best. This is Yeshua. Take care of yourselves, and just talk to me or call me in whenever you need a hand. Thank you so much. Bye bye.